Well, it's kind of a rainy, drizzly, cold day here in the Texas Hill Country. So, that means it's a great day to cut up a baseball bat. So we've got an Atlanta Braves baseball bat, and this was sent to me by a customer to make a pair of rings. Going to make a pair of engraved rings for him. So, going to go ahead and start, and always the most fun part is cutting this bat in half. And then we'll put them on the bandsaw and cut them into little slices. Alright, here we go. Unfortunately, I don't know who this player is. Probably need to check out from the customer, but there's the Atlanta Braves stamp, and it appears to be number 7. And there's the little sticker that you get from the company that does the authentication and stuff. So cool. We'll go ahead and cut him up. Let's see what's on the bottom. Yeah, so doesn't say whose it is. Looks like it's 2009 though. So. Alright, you might have noticed I made this little sled here. Basically just took my little T-square, flipped it back, put some wood on it to use to cut these ring blanks. Basically it makes it really nice and easy to cut straight. Just kind of slide it back and forth and move it forward and slide it back and forth. So it's actually worked out a lot better than trying to do it by hand. So, alright, we got about a baker's dozen of these blanks out of this bat, and there's what's left of the bat. And so I could probably still cut another 7 or 8 rings out of that. So let's go ahead and put them into the soothing bath resin, and make sure everybody is going to be nice and under there, under the resin. Sorry, not water. And then we will put them in the vacuum chamber. That will suck out all the air from the wood, and then we'll take the vacuum off. We'll leave it on for overnight, or not overnight. We'll leave it on for a few hours, and then we will take the vacuum off and let that sit overnight. What that'll do is the resin will go back into the wood, take the place of the air that was in there, and that will stabilize the wood, make it a little stronger, less likely to crack, and get a little prettier actually. So let's go ahead and get them in the vacuum chamber. All right, everybody's in there in the vacuum chamber under the resin, all nice and cozy, and we'll put on the lid. Of course, it's a tempered glass lid, and we'll turn on the vacuum. Turn on the vacuum pump, and then we'll bring it down to the full vacuum, and then we'll set the valves and let it sit for a couple hours. Alright, these have been sitting under the vacuum for several hours. So I'm going to go ahead and release the pressure, release the vacuum. And now we'll just let the wood sit under the resin for overnight, and that'll let the resin seep back into the wood. And then tomorrow we'll work on stabilizing it. We'll work on finishing it off in the little oven. Alright, so it's the next day and the sun's out. It's a really beautiful day. So let's go ahead and take out these pieces from the Atlanta Braves baseball bat. And we will basically set that resin in the little oven. What that does is we put it in the oven for about 200 degrees for about 90 minutes or so, and that will stabilize it. So we're going to take these out, put them on the cookie sheet. I'm sure I don't have one lurking in there. Okay, let's put them in the oven. Of course, I always do this outside because it does make kind of a stink, and you never want to use an oven you've done this for any food. This is the only kind of cookies you ever want to cook in it anymore. So I've got them for about 90 minutes, and then we'll pull them out. All right, here's that Atlanta Braves bat wood, all nice and ready to make into rings. And I've got the 2 engraved cores. One is a size 9. It's an inlay, and that's no problem. That's pretty standard. The other is a size 5, and this is a teeny tiny little ring. So this one's going to be a little bit of a challenge. I might need to get my my microscope out to do this inlay, but challenge accepted. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. What we're going to do is take a couple pieces of wood, get them flat on the lathe, bore them out to fit, and then bond them into the tungsten ring cores with 2-part epoxy. So let's get started on that. All right, we've got a lot of sanding to do. Let's get to it. I think that's as close as I can get for right now. I have to do some finish sanding once I break it, but now it's time to go ahead and put the marks on there and break these guys, and then do some fitting, and then get them epoxied up. All right. That one. Ooh, and that one. All right. Do some last minute fitting to get these guys fit, and then we'll epoxy them in. All right, let's get these rings cleaned up with denatured alcohol and bond them up with 2-part epoxy. So let's get started with that. Oh, that's great. All right, now just let them cure overnight, and then we'll come back and work them on the lathe. All right, it's the next day. Here's those 2 rings. Let's go ahead and cut them a little bit more roundish on the bandsaw, and then put them on the lathe and turn this wood flat with the metal core. Well, here's those 2 matched rings from the Atlanta Braves baseball bat. Came out pretty nice. This little one was a real challenge. But if you would like a ring made from a Major League Baseball bat, from the deck of a battleship, from the wood from an M1 Garand, please check out my website. It's hillcountryrings.com. And I'd love to make a ring for you. Thanks, everybody.